Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Maynard After Midnight. I'm Damian Maynard, your host, and I have on with me Deciduous. How are you tonight, Deciduous?
Doing well, man. Just trying to stay ahead of this breakneck speed of everything unfolding these days.
I know it's absolutely crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Everything's happening so quickly you can't even keep up with all of the things that are going on.
Yeah, especially with this being Bastille Day and the reports of the truck driving through a promenade, and the number keeps going up. It was 50 earlier, about an hour and a half ago. Now it's 80, and number keeps going up with injured. How many people were killed? And I think it's just an interesting time because French president announced they were not going to extend the state of emergency beyond July 26th. But I think they kind of like state of emergency, and I feel like this is a pretty much testing ground run for what's coming here to the U.S. And we can already see it building with the riots and everything, the racial tensions.
Absolutely. Well, apparently through a newspaper in the Philippines, it says that the truck was loaded down with firearms and hand grenades also.
Oh, so there's our gun angle. We were just talking about that gun angle. Where's the gun angle? There you go.
Right. There it is, right there.
And that doesn't make sense as we get any reporting, and, again, take it with a grain of salt. But if you have an arsenal in the back of a truck involving explosives, just using the truck itself, why not save yourself all that trouble and just use the truck?
Yeah, let's ban the trucks.
Now. Yeah, we got to ban the assault trucks. The assault trucks are out to get us.
We can't have assault trucks running around.
You better not paint your truck camo or black, flat black, because then, it's scary looking. And
what color was that truck, by the way? Was it white?
White. It was like a big box van truck, It wasn't even a... Yeah, it was like a big box truck.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy.
So they go down the middle of the promenade. And that's funny that, the breaking news on the arsenal in the back. I haven't heard that yet, but that would throw another spin on, extending the state of emergency. But it's funny.
They're saying that this could actually be a catalyst for a civil war there, or if this one isn't, surely the next.
Well, and again, I guess any time that people say civil war is going to break out, you have to look at, well, what would the sides be in France? And the only civil war I could envision in France would be the citizens of France standing up and fighting against any immigrants that may be there up to no good. I mean, I don't know if French citizens themselves would be fighting against each other unless they're split hugely politically. I don't see France as being a nation where there's a huge split. They've always had a revolutionary tint to their whole angle, which I could see that would be a problem for the government there, which would why, especially France, you would want to have a state of emergency instilled because, they're likely to revolt at any moment.
Yep.
Way more likely to stand up for themselves and their rights in the streets than Americans any day of the week, because we've seen it, throughout the years. They'll go out and flip over cars and light them on fire because they're on worker strike. You do that here, you're going to end up in a body bag. So.
Oh yeah. Unless you're part of the Black Lives Matter movement.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out, especially, again, that was the first I heard of any arsenal being involved with that whole scenario. And with them plowing through just a promenade of people in a truck, I was like, well, what angle are they going to work if they don't have the gun thing in there? But there it is.
Right. Well, it says the headline is at least 80 dead in French truck attack. And it says this is from the... I guess the Inquirer.net, but it's from the Philippines. it says that a truck loaded with weapons and hand grenades drove onto the sidewalk for more than a mile, plowing through Bastille Day revelers who had gathered to watch fireworks at the French resort city of Nice. See, and I hadn't heard where it was prior to reading some stuff on it, but apparently it happened in Nice.
Well, it's true. It's important people realize the significance of Bastille Day for the French is like our 4th of July, pretty much, because that was when they, the whole start of the French Revolution. That was it. That was the independence. When they have Bastille Day, that'd be like someone driving a truck through a 4th of July parade here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's their day of independence.
Yep. And what better thumb in the eye in this most precarious year than to do a little trial run there in France with a population that's way quicker to get out into the streets than we are, and see what happens. See if you can get a state of emergency. And then the biggest thing why they're doing it, extending the state of emergency with this event, is to see how the citizenry will react. Now, if they totally revolt, that could be a civil war, but that would be more of a government against the people. That's the hard thing with civil wars. Usually civil war, the government is still intact. You just have a split in the nation. The citizenry is against each other. That would be civil war, why it's civilian war. But if you have a revolt against the government, that would be a revolution. So that would be the two different scenarios that could play out in that situation.
And apparently, the Eiffel Tower is burning now.
Whoa! No way.
Yeah. This is from an hour ago.
So the Eiffel Tower is in flames on Bastille Day after a truck attack with an arsenal in the back, and yeah, things are unfolding with breakneck speed, my friend. I hope everyone has their galoshes.
Apparently, ISIS is taking credit for it.
Oh, big bad ISIS, huh?
So they say.
Yeah, I would say it's more CIA, Black Op, tomfoolery. Sure. But what do I know?
We made it anyway. We made it. So it is us.
Well, once the tag word Al Qaeda gets old, you got to make a new boogeyman, and why not throw ISIS out there? Let's just call it ISIS from now on, because everyone's getting tired of the Bush regime, Al Qaeda. So we're going to go with ISIS now. New regime, new tag.
Right, the Obama regime now.
Yeah. Got to get something for your Intel dollars, right? To validate the budget.
Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely.
Oh, they changed their name to ISIS now. We're really on top of things.
Well, it is a different militant group, apparently.
That's true.
I think that ISIS is a different militant group. In fact, it's even from a different region of the area. So, yeah. But nonetheless, it's another faction that we've made.
Well, I do know, as far as, what with Al Qaeda or whatever, whatever they want to name it, any groups there that are fighting the Western Front, they're going to be unified because, again, enemy of my enemy is my friend,
Right.
And I think that they're just going to slap whatever tag on it because apparently the name ISIS has a lot of power behind it. We know where that comes from,
Well, it's an Egyptian mythological goddess. Yeah.
Exactly. And that has a lot of power behind that word, and that's why they throw it out. And Al Qaeda didn't have as much. That was the big joke with Al Qaeda between the contractors going there. They were like, yeah, it's called the mystery man, the ghost, the unknown.
Right.
You can paint whatever image you want on an unknown, especially if you create it.
Burning at the base. The Eiffel Tower is burning at the base.
Well, I wonder if it's going to collapse like, like
the Twin Towers?
Yeah, or like number 7.
I don't know. It's pretty hard to put explosives. Pretty hard to put explosives on something that's open.
Well, according to the official reports, as long as you stand at the base of the Eiffel Tower with a few Bic lighters, everybody just holds the Bic lighters against the steel, and it'll get hot enough, it'll just fall like a pancake.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Or if you stand at the top of it
Yeah.
and put a flame to it, it should fall down, right?
Yeah. Total structural failure by way of about 30 Bic lighters. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
plausible, right?
yeah, absolutely.
More
It could happen.
plausible story. Somebody peed on the Eiffel Tower and it collapsed. We got to have an investigation and a hearing. You know?
Right.
Well, it sounds like, yeah, they're going for a trial run globally. I mean, we have a lot of stuff going on now. You got Brexit, England's leaving the EU, so that's going to start a domino effect. Then you got the Loretta Lynch hearing. You got the Coney thing with the FBI director coming out. All these are great distractions. It's kind of like the global mafia is getting in hotter and hotter water, so they got to really pull out all the cards. This is their A game they're throwing out now. Total chaos. They want to go for total chaos because they know if any court of law still stands and any of this stuff that is coming out now is going to be hitting those courts of law, they're not going to have a chance. So they got to go total chaos now.
Right.
Cover their tracks.
Right.
And it's a global game, people. That's what we always got to remember. This isn't just an America game. This is a global agenda, a global game. We got a lot of problems in this country, absolutely. Is anyone going to get elected and fix it? Absolutely not. It's so deep and so far-reaching. It doesn't just involve the citizenry of this nation. It's a global game. It has been for many, many decades.
Quite some time now, yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And if we can understand that, not to say that we just say, well, the Constitution is not applicable anymore. And it is, but I mean, the idea of reinforcing it and reinstating it, don't have the answers. Wish I did, but it's a global game, and we gotta always remember that.
The whole thing is that some entities within the power structure, let's say, don't want the Constitution to be upheld anymore. Some of them actually want it to be suspended so that for some reason we can not what happened there, for some reason they don't want us to have our rights. Actually, that's just how it is. They don't want us to have what we have.
Well, again, because the idea of us asking for our rights to be human is putting them in a position of power that they do not deserve.
Right.
And they have not earned. And as long as we support that, then we're going to be enslaving ourselves ad nauseum. And as far as the Constitution goes, having any constitutional case that was upheld, as long as it's low profile, then sure, they'll have a little, representative thing saying, look, your Constitution's still here. A high profile case or something that deals with mass acknowledgement of it or people watching, forget it. They're going to shoot them down and say, oh, they're terrorists. Sorry. You lose all your rights when you're a terrorist, and that's all they got to call you now, and you've lost everything.
Yeah. Now, if you're a domestic terrorist, you have no rights whatsoever. You can be locked up indefinitely with no charges whatsoever. None.
And we've all seen the documentation on that. If you are strong in the Constitution, if you're a veteran, if you are a conspiracy theorist, if you're a truther, if you believe 9/11 was possibly an inside job and you have answers to questions,
if you're a Christian,
if you're a Christian, because that ties in with a lot of the military family backgrounds and deep, rooted nationalism of the old way. They want to destroy all that, sweep it away, and say, okay, if you do any of these things, then you're actually against what we're trying to build now. Therefore, you are a domestic terrorist, and that's well documented. It's all out there.
Absolutely.
And so the only way to move forward is to understand that pretty much anyone that exists here that enjoys the idea of having any freedom at all, you're a terrorist already.
Right. Well,
by their definition, not by ours.
More than what I'm in more than one of those categories.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is they've been clamping down that redefinition for a while, even in law enforcement training. Yeah, I've seen the undercover footage of them telling police officers, saying, "Hey, this is kind of like what we're looking at." A lot of police officers like questioning it, and actually, the footage I saw was recorded by a police officer in the training, saying, "Hey, this isn't right. So we're going to target veterans, and we're going to target people that are exercising their right to be a citizen, and
Right. Right.
the door is open."
You can't exercise your rights. That's just wrong.
No, that's not
You can't do it.
possible. Yeah, it's like you can beg a court of law to acknowledge your rights, but if the court of law has been corrupted, then you're begging for the criminal, or you're begging for the criminal to give you what he's stolen back to you, and that's just not. It was never his to begin with, what he stole from you. So,
Well, the matter is, it is our right as the people to overthrow such governments that try to take away the people's rights. And
Yep.
you might like hearing that. I'm not saying the viewers, I'm saying other people that may be watching may not like the fact that we have been guided to believe that throughout the course of time by our constitutional rights and the founders of this great country, that if you try to step all over us, then it's our turn.
It's going to be, the big crossroads for this nation is: do we choose convenience, or do we choose standing up for what's right?
Right.
And it's going to be a global issue now. I mean, again, I think France right now is the testing ground. What's going on in Nice, the truck, everything with the arsenal in it, it's just too convenient. Their deadline was going to be in what is that, 26, 12 days?
Yeah. And in fact, Cleveland is supposed to be this huge clusterfuck, for the lack of a better term. They're going to have Black Lives Matter there. They're going to have, and I refuse to call them BLM. BLM is an entirely separate entity, and so I will not call it that. It's Black Lives Matter.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand how the president is, and by the looks of the police, they really couldn't believe it either. How he is defending these people and saying that they're doing such a great job, and saying this at the funeral of officers that were killed in the midst of one of their rallies.
That reminds me. Did you see the dancing bush puppet?
No, I have not.
Oh my God, dude! Did you see George Bush? George Bush.
George Bush
Jr. Yeah.
What was
that? George W. Did you see him dancing?
Oh, he was there. That's right, he was.
Did you see the footage of him dancing? It was so awkward. Oh my gosh, you got to look it up right now so you can. I want to know what you think of that, because he's holding hands with Michelle Obama and swaying awkwardly at a funeral and laughing and cutting up at the cop's funeral, at the 5 policemen that were gunned down.
Well, that tells me it might be a false flag. How about you?
Oh my gosh, you've got to see that. Like, oh man, I saw that today and I was like, what? He's like holding hands with Michelle Obama, and Obama's holding hands with Michelle Obama, obviously, on the other side. He's holding hands with his wife. He acts like he's drunk, and he's smiling and just getting down to the Glory, Glory, Hallelujah song as they're all singing it. I mean, it's pretty disturbing. You find a video.
I am looking it up now.
You've got to see it. I was just amazed at like how blatant. I mean, how just blatant it is now. I mean, I don't know again, unless there's sexual acts being committed on kittens by politicians, I don't know what else.
During a hymn, no less.
Oh yeah, during a funeral. I mean, it's like watching a bunch of junior high kids in a assembly that can't sit still and can't keep their mouth. You know, I mean, it's these are supposed to be people of, you know, stature and integrity. What a joke, huh?
Right? Oh, no wonder all the cops were pissed off.
Yeah, well, they should be. If they saw footage of that, I mean, it's like,
No, I mean the ones that were there watching it.
they should be enraged. I mean, I couldn't imagine if you served with those officers that were gunned down and you're standing there and you're watching like the ex-president of the United States like dance a jig and like,
Right?
yeah,
Hello? What
yeah,
the fuck?
swaying back and forth and cutting up and laughing, and they all laugh at one point. Like Bush and Obama and Michelle Obama, they're all like cutting up, laughing, and it's like, what are you people doing? You know? It's
Yeah,
like,
I was gonna say he's probably all coked out, you know?
oh, absolutely. I wouldn't be surprised,
He's
you know.
like, hey, I never heard this song before.
Or, you know, who knows? He could be some
Dude.
clone, you know, some sort of android at this point.
I just can't believe that, you know, and
Yeah.
our government is making a mockery of what this country was founded on, honestly.
Well, yeah, and sadly, that's long gone. I mean, it's
only long gone within the government. It's not long gone within the people.
well, the people's got a lot of rust to break out of. We got to get out the WD-40 and brush off the dust and start thinking outside the box. Because as long as you think in the boxes, nothing's going to change. I mean, there's everybody should know individually what they should be doing right now. It doesn't involve, you know, pitchforks and torches. Non-participation is a powerful thing, you know. Non-participation.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's a
There's
starting
things that we should non-participate in. Like this whole Cleveland thing, that's going to be a horrible, horrible thing. I'm telling you right now. Because
Yeah.
people are going to have weapons. Lots of different people are going to have weapons. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
The new Black Panther Party, they're going to be carrying their weapons. The white supremacist, whatever factions are going to be carrying their weapons. Trump supporters are going to carry their weapons. There's going to be 100 naked women there. There's going to be a bunch of nuns there. Westboro Baptist Church is going to be there. Like, there's all these people that are going to be there that have, you know, it's going to be a complete fucking catastrophe. I'm already going to. I'm telling you now. Like,
yeah. Well, I mean, it's a big setup. I mean, I don't know.
There's supposed to be like 100,000 people showing up, and there's only going to be 1,000 officers to take care of it. I see disaster.
Well, that'll be the excuse to do the exact same thing here that's been done in France. You know, state of emergency, which means they already have it in place. The National Authorization Act pretty much gives the right to anybody that you think's a domestic terrorist. You know, don't need any trial or anything. You know, National Authorization Act. You know, it's all documented. That's been renewed for a while now. You got the Patriot Act as well. That's all been in place. So now it's just more so of just making it an everyday activity that people get used to, just like getting frisked when you go to an airport, you know, just like getting felt up by a TSA officer, you know. People got used to that, and they're like, oh, okay.
People have not gotten used to it. They gave into it, but they did not get used to it.
Well, yeah, they don't like it, but
my junk is getting punched. I don't care who it is. I'll go to jail for a couple of days.
Well, and that's the thing too, is people have done that. And they go to jail for a couple days. It doesn't get national coverage, and everyone just goes about their day. Well, I guess it's okay because no one's complaining. And they look around, you know. It's like, well, you need to be the one complaining, you know.
And if I had a little girl and they filled her all up,
oh, dude, that's why I haven't took my daughter through an airport.
Destroyed. It would be destroyed. I would fuck everything up.
That is exactly why I have not flown with my child, because if someone touched her in that way, I would not be responsible for my actions from that moment forward.
I'd totally flip out. I'd be responsible. If you touch my little girl, this is what's gonna fucking happen to you.
Yep, that's where I'm at. And people don't get that, but that's the most primal thing you don't mess with. And once you do, there's no going back, you know. There's no return from that. And if people didn't get that, you know, well, You need to go to a class and you have therapy. No, no, no. You mess with my kids, it's over. You know, done. There's no negotiations.
Right.
And people say that's wrong or they have issue with it. You know, but again, it's that's where we got to be right now for what we're gonna have to take our kids through with us. You know, that's the hard part is thinking about our kids are gonna end up with all this crap that's coming down this year. I mean, this is the year, man. I see it. You know, it's a daily basis now of like so much stuff to unpack. You know, they got the stock market at record highs. It's the highest it's ever been in its history. Well, that's
right. Over the last, yeah. And guess what's going to happen now?
Oh, it's going to collapse.
Huh?
Oh, they're going to bring down the stock market with some you know, social rioting and some race wars, and
Sure.
probably hinted at, you know, World War III. You know.
Well, being with the stock market being what it is, they could essentially shut down the banks now and say, you know, that little forecast that we've been hearing about, you know, the 3-day shutdown, and collect all the money. Here,
yeah.
it's ours now.
Yep. And they're doing a trial run in France. They've been doing it ever since the terrorist attack there, where they had a state of emergency. They're seeing how it works with France, because those citizens are way more apt to rebel than Americans. We know that.
Right.
I mean, the French people are way more apt to just, you know, flip cars over and light them on fire, and they go about their day. Like, yeah, that's what we do when we're mad. Americans aren't like that. We're like, oh, well, this is our free speech zone. Let's just stand in the cage. And then when they come in with the bullhorns and telling us to leave, we'll leave and we'll go home, and that's that. You know.
Well, and that's essentially what they're trying to do in Cincinnati, and I suppose the other cities that they're going to have it in. That they're going to have barricades up, and they're going to have several places throughout Cincinnati, not near the RNC deal, but throughout the city, they're going to have areas that people are allowed to protest. And I'm sorry, but the last time I checked, it was our right to protest wherever the fuck we want.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the idea of it. I mean, as long as you're not like obstructing like emergency services from assisting those that are injured, I don't see a problem demonstrating anywhere. Now, if you get in the way of people that are injured, and that's a whole other scenario. That's the only one I can think of that would keep anyone.
Well, if people are being injured, that's not a very peaceful protest, no, is it?
Exactly. But that's the thing, is they want you to not be peaceful because they know exactly how to handle you. They've been arming the cops for, you know, 2 decades now. All the leftover stuff from Iraq, they just gave out to all the policemen here, and police.
Yeah, recolored it. Yeah, made it blue or black.
Yeah, paint it blue. You know, and you get, you know, weekend warriors get a chance to go out and ride around the Humvee. But the one thing I will say, though, there are a lot of great cops and a lot of great sheriffs in this country still that are going to be fighting along our side when this thing hits the fan. I just know it. And I know, I've talked to a lot of them. So that's the thing. I'm not like anti-police at all. It's like there are bad cops and good cops, just like there are bad kids in your school and good kids that you went to school. You know, the ones that beat you up and the ones that helped you. You know, it's like.
Right.
So that's just the baiting. I'm tired of this cop baiting, like every cop's bad. Yeah, there's some bad cops. Yeah, there's some good cops. But I would say the majority of them aren't out like, you know, ripping everybody off and stuff. I mean, I've had cops in my family back east.
I live in Oklahoma.
Oh yeah. Well then yeah. And that's the thing.
I saw a report. I saw a report on Oklahoma Highway Patrol and some other police officers that they will literally, if you don't have money for them to take in your car, they will take your bank account. They will take.
Oh yeah, they have that automatic system now, right? I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's several other states that have this system too. But
yeah, those are the ones you got to move out of, right?
When it comes to theft.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's how you again you build up a network of crime where you're untouchable, and then you let them go loose, and then you create more instability. Also, you build up the racial tensions, and you build up the terrorist tensions, and you leave the borders wide open. It's just the dissimulation of the entire U.S. structure as a nation, and it's all coming at all those angles right now, you know.
Right.
And
Right.
the next step is a test run that's happening in France right now. They're going to have. We've already seen the riots and stuff going on here. We're going to have a big event this year. I predict. I mean, I don't know. I'm just guessing because I see the pattern coming. There's going to be a big event that throws off everything, even the election possibly. Throws it off to where we have
I'm absolutely positive of that.
There you go.
That's been the plan for the last 4 years, to escalate violence to the point where it is not controllable anymore, and then you put martial law into effect, and the president who's in charge when the martial law is put into effect remains president.
Yeah. And I think the big barometer that the powers that be are waiting on is if they can get Hillary Clinton elected and there's not too much stuff going on, then they'll just roll with that for a while. We might have a little more time to prepare, but if you're not prepared by now, you're kind of screwed. On the other hand, they got their backup plan. They've already instigated the riots and stuff, so they can pull that card. If it looks like Hillary's out, she doesn't get elected, that means the old powers have lost. Now, I'm not saying Trump's a dandy either. I'm not going to vote for any of these bastards because I've never voted, you know.
I voted once. I voted once. I'm sorry I voted for him.
Well, you know.
And it wasn't Barack. So, I mean,
hindsight's 2020.
It was Bill Clinton in his second term. But that was my first time and my last time voting. So
there you go. And I think that's that's the angle they got the race wars and this whole tension built up. So if for some reason Hillary doesn't get elected, it's falls out. I feel like I don't know Trump's whole issue because I don't pretend to know people I've never met in person. But
right.
I think that's kind of the backup, and I think they're ready to pull the plug on it all if they can't keep the old structure intact. And it's falling apart all around us. I mean, these hearings are crazy. You know, it's like the Loretta Lynch, you know, Attorney General getting questioned. It was just like absurd. It's like watching a, you know, Monty Python skit almost. You know,
almost.
It's just not as clever. You know,
cake or death.
Yeah.
Cake or death. I fucking hate cake, but I don't want death either. You have any? Come on.
Yeah, I know, huh? Well, which way do you go?
Well, those are the only two choices: cake or death. So, do you?
Then what do you do?
You know.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to bow down to a king, or do you want death? That's what it amounts to.
Yeah. And the problem is that we've been bowing for so long now. It's like we got a third knee, and we don't know how to not bow.
Right.
And I mean, I've seen a lot of evidence for that. We never came out of martial law since the Civil War. You know, back when Lincoln was president. You know, there's a lot of evidence for that. It's like we've been in a perpetual state of martial law since then. Was it enacted on? There's not evidence of that, but there's a case for even we never came out of martial law from the
strong supporting evidence that you're right, though.
Yeah, that we never came out of martial law since the Civil War. You know,
right.
And ever since then, it's just been signed back in quietly, and ever since then, that's the big turnaround. That was the late 1800s, and what have we seen in just that short amount of time? Is, you know, my gosh, you know, instigation of the Federal Reserve. You've got just conspiracy after conspiracy after that, and it wouldn't even be called.
And notice, it's not conspiracy theories; it's actually conspiracies.
Yeah, and that's the difference, and that's why that we wouldn't even be using that term if the the Federal Bureau of Investigation decided to label that as something that people might carry, these conspiracy theories. You know, right. Even that term was handed down from the organizations that are creating them. So I don't know.
Yeah, that was to get away from the whole conspiracy part. The real conspiracies, the false flags, and the attacks on our own people, and you know, and all at the government's hands now. All at the government's hands.
Oh yeah, yep.
Because the people aren't doing it.
No, no, the people aren't doing it, and we're just along for the ride, like a bunch of gullible puppets, you know, shuffling off to the mall and worried about when the next Hobbit movie's coming out or when the new Batman's coming out. I mean, it's absurd. It's gotten to such a point.
Batman 15 now? Is that stupid or what?
Yeah, Batman 28, you know, Jaws 84. I'm just waiting for that, you know. In the meantime,
I'm kind of waiting for them to make another Jaws, actually.
They'll do a remake. If they're going to do anything, they'll do a remake.
And they have remade some really good old movies, and they're shit.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know what remake I'm waiting for them to do? And it's going to be blasphemous. Back to the Future.
Oh, yeah.
You know that's coming. You know it's going to be coming. It's going to be some sort of Megan Fox, like, you know, some, you know, whatever. I don't have time for modern cinema. There's very few good films coming out these days.
I agree.
And
there's some decent stuff on Netflix, but I don't go to the.
Yeah. Yeah, I never
pay $10 for a small Coke, or you know, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I mean, the only way I go to the movies is I stuff my coat with snacks, and I've only gone to a couple kids movies because you know, it's just fun. I haven't gone to a 3D movie in a while, so I went and saw Zootopia with my daughter, and that was interesting. It had the whole gender bias thing in it, you know, and just a lot of, I don't know, propaganda, I guess you could say. And I'm sitting there watching it in 3D, and I was like, oh, okay, this is. I mean, last time I saw a 3D film was, I think, like Captain Emo at Disney World when I was like.
Captain Emo?
Yeah, dude.
Hey, I was just gonna say that was the last 3D thing that I saw.
No way, dude. That was the last one I saw.
Captain EO and
Captain Emo, yeah, like EO, yeah, at Disneyland. It was Michael Jackson. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a super funny story about that.
Oh yeah.
I was with my family, and I'm sitting there talking to my mom, and you know when that flying furry thing comes flying out of the screen.
Do you remember
that?
I vaguely remember a flying furry thing.
There was like this fat furry thing that flew from the screen and like went right in front of your face. Well, I tried
that one.
I tried to touch it, you know.
Yeah, of course.
And this old lady was sitting in front of me, and I touched her head. I was like petting her head. I scared the shit out of her.
Oh, that is great, man. You were like petting the beehive in front of you, and you thought it's like, this is so real.
I thought it was so cool.
The lady turned around and was like,
oh my God, this old lady was just, she shit herself.
What are you doing to me? Oh, that is classic, man. That's a great story. The 3D furry thing flew out, and you grabbed some beehive in front of you.
I don't remember anything else from that entire film.
Oh, that's so great. I just remember one of the songs, how it goes. Da, 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 da. But man, it's been forever since. Haven't seen Captain Emo. Wasn't it Emo or Evo?
Captain EO.
EO, there we go.
Should have been Captain Emo. He's like about the most emo person I've ever seen.
Yeah, I know, huh?
Honestly. No offense to Michael Jackson fans. Like, I like his music.
Yeah, dude, that was the last like 3D thing I'd seen, and since I went to Zootopia like last year. And that was like when I was a teenager, you know. I didn't go to any other 3D movies after that. It's like, you know, I see daily life in 3D. Why do I need to represent that in some false way? You know, it could be entertaining for a bit, but you know.
Right. No, I totally agree.
But you know, that's why as you get older and older, it's like, well, I don't need all your newfangled gadgets. Well, you need them because everyone else is using them. It's like, no, I refuse. And then you're like some sort of dinosaur, you know.
Right.
But that's the beauty of being a hard-headed, stubborn bastard like myself.
Well, it's good to get back to the natural things in life, the easy, comfortable things in life. Instead of all the smartphones and the computers and next week I'm going to be taking a break off all that, and I may actually upload a video or two from where I go. I may do a show or something or whatever, but I won't be able to go live, I don't think. But I'll show some snippets from my trip, and it'll be fun, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. Well, it's all about, exploring this while you have this experience. Explore all that you can, learn all you can, grow all you can. Don't believe anything anyone tells you unless they have a great case for it, and don't take anything at face value. We got it all. We've done this for years. We're the wood rabbits, man. We know all that.
Right. Well, I'm going to go fishing while I'm gone. I know that.
Nice. Oh, that's great, man. Take
my little buddy Easton fishing.
Uh-huh.
And, yeah, he's like really young. he's the nephew of Kristen. So, and like I asked him, I said, "You gonna go fishing with me?" He just smiles.
Nice.
Yeah, he's super happy.
Well, that's really what it's all about. And the more complex our desires are tied into technology and how many people like you or don't like you based on a thumbs up or thumbs down, or likes on anything. It's like we're making ourselves more and more fragile based on something that's completely artificial, and if we can just see that and get back to what matters, going fishing with your friends and not having anyone there to thumbs up or thumbs down the experience, that is priceless.
Yes, it is. I mean, they could, but it wouldn't matter, right?
Yeah. The only ones that can thumbs up or thumbs down are the two guys there that are actually doing it together,
Right.
And that's how it used to be. That was the great escape. That was the big release. But as soon as you take that away, then everybody needs meds, You got to be sedated just to get out of bed these days, But
yeah, that's true.
And it's just obvious what the plan is. I mean, why are so many people buying antidepressants if we're in a great time, if we're in a great, golden age?
Oh, that's because they're recreational drugs now.
Oh, yeah.
People want to feel better because life is shitty, and so they're trying to find an escape away from the shittiness, but all it really does is make it more shitty.
Yep. And you got to get them young. You got to blame the kids.
And they don't even realize it. And see, and doctors are prescribing this stuff because, of course, they're paid to push the drugs. And, so we have to find a problem that's wrong with you so that we can give you this drug. So what problem do you have? Like, do you ever get depressed? Do you ever feel bad? Well, yeah, I do. Then we're going to put you on this.
Yep. And that's where it's voluntary. That's the most disturbing thing. It's all voluntary. There's no test a psychiatrist can do on you to tell you if you're bipolar.
No.
There is no physical test that can be done to chemically state scientifically that you are bipolar. All they have to do is to proclaim you are bipolar and then treat you with a physical drug from an ailment that is non-existent in science. And
exactly.
A lot of that way.
Yes, exactly.
Any psychiatrist that's not lying.
That's a major flaw that I find in psychology. And I've studied psychology for a really long time now. Yep. So it's like you can find a problem within anything that you want to find a problem within.
Yep.
That's just a basic fucking fact.
Mm-hmm.
You can find everyone has problems at times. And so they base their drug prescribing stuff off of that. Oh, well, have you ever felt bad? Have you
ever been sad?
Yeah.
I mean,
Are
it's
you
like
ever sad?
if you have a pulse,
Sad.
then it's gonna be yes. You know, like regardless of you broke a nail or either you just lost your leg in a terrible train accident. Yeah, you've been sad, all these varying degrees. But just asking that to a person, have you ever felt sad sometimes? It's like, yeah, well, you might need this.
Right.
And that's the thing is we don't self-regulate to say, you know what, I want my pain, I want my suffering, because that makes me grow. I don't want it to be numbed out of me. I don't want to be reprogrammed.
Right.
I want to sit with my life's
I
pain,
like my sadness sometimes.
yeah, I need it. It's a very important tool for me. My sadness is my boredom, my sadness is a very important tool for me.
Yes,
I
because it
cannot
helps
live
me
without it.
appreciate all those great times.
Yep. To
It
try to
does.
perpetually escape
And
it.
even, yeah, you cannot be happy all the time. You can't.
Nope.
It's impossible.
Yeah. And anyone who wants to have that happen all the time is either extremely naive or a moron. And that's the only way I can see it. Anyone who wants to be happy all the time, who thinks it's going to be happy all the time, or things are going to be good all the time, they're either extremely naive or a complete idiot. That's the only way I can see it.
I understand that there's going to be some great difficulties in people's lives. I've had some extremely hard times myself and some suicide attempts. So I understand the difficulties that lie in life. And but that's not a reason, once you live through that and once you move on into new things, then that gives you a new perspective. And that's the way that you need to look at it. It's there are times we're going to be sad. There's times, like every year, every year your children have birthdays and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And every year, right around the same time, I get depressed for absolutely no reason at all. I don't know the reason why I get depressed. And then I realize that it's either the date or very close to the date that my adopted son was born. And then I know why. Because you may not realize it, but your brain realizes it. And you may not even realize what day it is or date or whatever, but your internals, your brain, your files recognize that it's been a year since that time, or
Yeah, it's been however long, and that's an emotional imprint that always happens outside of time.
Absolutely.
And that's where the logical mind meets and the emotional memory meets. Emotional memory is outside of time, and then logical memories, circumstantial memories,
Right. No, I absolutely agree.
Great, you identified that pattern, though. You can sense that coming on yourself logically and say, I know where this is coming from, because it's near the birth of your adopted son. So,
right.
And that
in August, by the way. But that time of year is sometimes hard for me, really and truly. And it's not even until it happens that I realize the date, and I'm like, oh, now I know why I'm feeling the way that I feel,
Yeah.
Good evening, Doug.
Hello, boss. How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I haven't slept in 3 days, but I'm doing pretty good.
Well, you did a hell of a show earlier. I saw it.
Did you? Thank you.
Part of it? Yeah, I did.
Did you catch the part about the heads up I had?
About what?
Let me drink some tea. About the heads up that I had on Paris?
No.
Okay, I'll tell you what happened.
No, I got about 15 minutes into it, and I needed to shower and shave and get all that good stuff done for my show.
Cool. Well, what happened is last night somebody had sent me a text message that said you need to keep your eye on on France. And so this morning I'm going through my phone and I'm watching, and when I seen this, I passed it on to Doom right away, and I told him he needed to keep his eye on it too. Associated Press this morning said this, and this they were quoting an official. They were talking about France being on the verge of a civil war.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that I did hear.
Okay, now the wording in the AP story was that what would kick it off would be another massive terrorist attack or another massive sexual assault. And that's exactly what they said. Now, this is the creepy part. Normally, when you hear people talking, they will say, when it happens next time. It could be that. It wasn't like that at all. The official said it will happen. 9 hours later, we got 80 people dead. And it's true.
Well, we were just talking about earlier, this may be a false flag.
Well,
Manufactured.
well, you know, and I will tell you, it's very seldom that well, not too seldom, but overseas stuff, I usually can get a heads up on it, and I don't know why they did this to me this time around. But this AP article that they tweeted out, it screamed. I mean, when I read that, I had chills going down my spine. I'm like, oh, you've got to be. What are the fucking odds on this? You know, less than 12 hours later, here's AP talking about France Civil War and saying it will happen. I mean, it doesn't mean when it happens, someday down the road type stuff.
If
Like,
it happens, maybe
it
again.
was in concrete. And then 9 hours later, we have this. Well, and Damien seen the show that I did. I kind of covered, you know, I said to people, I go like, you know, the title of the show is what the did ET put in the air and the water? And
I was going to ask you, what did you mean by ET?
Extraterrestrial.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, it was just a, you know, I mean, you understand. I mean, because what has happened in the last month, guys, is so damn bizarre. I mean, you would almost think that it was out of this world, this shit that's happening to us. You know, I mean, you know, the uptick on the terrorist attacks are just phenomenal. But, you know, we have, and I went into discussion, but so when I got the alert on my phone about Paris going down, I sent a Skype message to Doom. And I said, it's on, dude. And this is what they're saying. Well, he was on with he was talking to his daughter, you know. And later on, he came on and he goes, oh my God, this is so big. And I said to him, I said, what are the odds? 24 hours, you know, I get the notice. 12 hours, you basically have the confirmation of what's going on. And 9 hours later, you have the attack. You know, the reports that I'm now hearing out of there, and that was about 45 minutes ago, was that there's 80 dead, 18 critically wounded, but according to the officials that are on the scene, out of the 80 dead, the only thing that they said was a majority of them were kids.
Wow.
and they said that they had found explosives and weapons in the truck, and they're saying this was a planned thing. It was a terrorist attack. And I had talked to somebody. I said, "Isn't it true?" I said that France was going to lift their martial law program in 12 days. And he went, "Yeah." I said, "Well, now they've got a reason to extend it." And he went, "Exactly. They got exactly what they wanted."
Right. We were talking about that before the show, that they were not going to extend it.
Yeah. And now, after this, I don't see how they can't.
July 26th was the cutoff for the emergency state.
Yeah.
And they made the announcement today during Bastille Day celebrations that we wouldn't be able to hold our republic up if we keep extending this, and so therefore we're not going to. And then this happened today, and they've extended it for 3 months.
Right. Oh, so they have extended it again.
Yes, it's 3 months. They've extended the state of emergency for 3 more months by way of the president making an announcement, which I sent Damien the link for, of the French president making the announcement that they're extending the state of emergency for 3 more months past this event.
And isn't it funny that November is when martial law and all that is actually supposed to kick in
here in the States? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
FEMA Region 3 has ordered millions of over 2 million MREs. They've
all the ammo. The is buying ammo now.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, and I have said this since April. Excuse me, everybody that's in the chat room. I am digging for my Dove's candy. That's that noise you hear. If you want some, I'll TP you some. But
the nose candy, isn't that cocaine?
No, it's Dove's candy.
Oh.
Hold on. I'll
I thought you said nose candy.
Oh, no, hell no. Wait. Right there.
Stop doing that quite a long time ago.
But here's the funny thing. About March or April when I started doing this, doing shows, I said that this summer was going to be very bloody. Not only for the world, but for us. Now, next week we got the RNC. The week after that, we've got DNC. We've got verdicts out of the 6 Baltimore police officers, 4 are not guilty. And
we also have the hearing for Loretta Lynch, the Attorney General. Also the hearing with the FBI head on the whole email scandal with Hillary, which is, if you watch any of that footage of the hearings, it's just like, my gosh, the definition of dog and pony show and just complete stonewalling.
It was, and that's a good way to put it, but the other way I would put it is very simply, it was down party lines. They were playing the game, and I said this today. If it would be a Republican FBI, well, he is, the FBI director is a Republican, but...
Oh, Comey?
Yeah. If it would be a Republican that's in the place of Hillary Clinton, the Democrats would be doing the same damn thing. They would be bitching more.
Well, yeah, and that's the problem with two-party system, is that you're never going to get a third opinion.
Right.
One way or the other. Period.
Yeah. And that should be enough evidence for people to realize how psychologically, if there's only 2 choices, then you don't have a third opinion. If you never have a third opinion or more than a third opinion, then it's a setup. And there's only 2 choices, there's only 2 choices.
Right.
Right. Why choose the
Well,
third choice?
but this is the thing. The whole thing of it is, we have people out there, and I said it today because I have a friend of mine that, and God bless her God bless her soul. Um, Give me a second. I have to answer this.
You on the phone?
No, I had a Skype.
Oh, okay.
But here's the thing of it. I told her, and I love that woman to death. I really do. She's a real good friend. And I did not know she had known two of the police officers. And I had said to her, I said, you cannot tell me that you couldn't see this coming last year. I said, something was going to set somebody off, and they were going to turn it on the cops. I said, people have had it. And she got upset. I said, I understand that Dallas was not, Dallas had absolutely nothing to do with either shooting. But that's where the crock pot went off. The pressure just blew on that particular area. And
So did you see the footage of the president and also the former president Bush? Did you see him dancing at the funeral?
when was that? Today or was that yesterday?
I think it was the day before yesterday or either yesterday.
No, wait a minute. It was Tuesday. It was Tuesday because he was in town.
Yes, it was 2 days ago.
I didn't see that. I mean, I'd be whoa.
Check that out. He's holding hands with Michelle Obama.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Michelle Obama's holding
Okay.
hands with Obama, and he's dancing and acting like he's a drunk sailor at the funeral, laughing and cutting up, and everybody's laughing. I was standing in front of an audience with a whole choir, looks like, full of police officers behind them, and this all happens, and it's on YouTube right now. You can see the former president dancing at a funeral, and everyone.
Oh, you're talking about Bush?
Yeah.
You want to know what the first thing I said when I seen him? I like the man. I mean, he's a unique guy. But I looked at him. No, and I'm not kidding you.
I know, and it was the Battle Hymn of the Republic. Come on.
Yeah.
But when I looked at him, I said, Jesus Christ, he's balding. It's only been 8 years, but look at all the steroids he's on.
I like him.
I said, look at all the steroids he's on. That man is sick and is going to die very soon because, I mean, he has put on some chunk bar there, and I watched Obama's speech.
Wait, are you talking about Obama or are you talking about the old Bush, the young Bush?
I'm talking about Bush.
Oh, okay. Just checking.
Yeah. And I mean, my God, here's something that, we all should think about. Look how much stress is on Obama. Look how quickly he turned it, how white his hair got. I mean, it was dark and
all presidents.
Yeah, it's because of stress. That's what my doctor says. When they're in an office like that, one of the signs of a lot of stress is your hair turns. I was like, really? She goes, yeah. But
well, and it's all the secrets that they have to keep and lies that they have to keep telling.
Well, I mean,
when you're fearing for your life every day, if you're not a good puppet, then yeah, that would stress you out.
Well, I mean, it is.
Yeah, waiting for the feds to kill you. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
well,
like, I hope this speech goes over well, and I say all the right things, because otherwise my family's going to end up in a landfill.
Right.
Of course, you're going to get gray hair.
You know, the thing of it is, it's
No,
like,
they'll make sure it looks like an accident. You'll be in a car accident. Don't worry.
you know, and I will
Heart
tell you
attack
something.
playing golf, you know.
Right.
I will tell you something, and this is just, we were talking about the Hillary Clinton ordeal.
Email scandal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, and we're talking about the FBI, how they had so much details. The AG gets up in front of there, and Hillary Clinton has redefined the term human shield with that woman. Okay? She's not an Oliver North, I can tell you that much.
You're
Never
right.
will be. But here's the thing. Today, I heard one of the congressmen say, and I think it was on Fox News, that Hillary Clinton has committed 3 felonies against Congress. 2 of them, she can do 5 to 6 years plus a fine. The other one is 50 years plus.
Well, when you
And
have the
he
Attorney
said death.
General as a body bag to block her from getting prosecuted, then I don't think we have to worry about any prosecution coming down the line. Who's going to carry that case when the Attorney General theirself is defending the Clintons? Even
Well, I mean,
meeting
you
at
know,
a private plane with Bill Clinton before.
oh yeah.
I mean, come on. It's like
I mean,
you make more mistakes, and it's blatant now. It's just so blatant, you know.
well, the thing of it is, too, is that, you know, they think that the American people are just so stupid.
Well,
You
they're
know,
right. They're right in a lot of cases.
they are. You know, I mean, that's like with the shooting when it happened in Orlando. They called it an act of domestic terrorism. And I go, well, wait a minute. This guy shoots 49 people, wounds 50. There's 350 in the bar. And I asked somebody, why wouldn't they rush him? And this person said to me very calmly and very straight-faced, and it was very simple. Homosexual men are not known for their masculinity. You know, which is true. But how can that guy go in there and commit an act of terror when we have everybody that's up in Oregon still? How do you justify that term? You can't. You know?
You mean, how do you justify the term act of terror?
No, a domestic terrorist. How do you
Oh,
define it? Because
well, I
one,
know exactly how they define it. There's been workshops on it.
well,
Anyone that is highly patriotic, anyone that touts the Constitution,
and
a
I
lot of
understand that,
veterans
but
are under arms.
what I'm saying is, if I went in there and I killed 49 people, wounded 50, and you went to Oregon and camped out and was just kicking it on vacation up there, what I mean, the definition of a domestic terrorist, as we would think of it, doesn't compute.
Well, of course it doesn't compute because it's corrupt.
Right. And we're not corrupt.
You
So
can't.
it only makes
You can't
sense to the
compute.
corrupt.
Yeah, the
Right.
idea of a domestic terrorist for me is someone that comes in and thinks that we need bigger government, that we need to have less say as a people, and that all our liberties should be stripped. That to me is a domestic terrorist.
Right.
That is what my definition of a domestic terrorist is. Someone that wants to support a regime that will remove our liberties. We have no say. We can be black-bagged and hauled off to a cell or thrown into a landfill without any say or with any repercussions for the person doing it. Now,
And
that's
without any reason at all for doing it.
exactly. Just
None.
because that maybe some people are listening to you, or just because you won't give eggs to the troops that are marching through your territory right now because we're at civil war or whatever, you know. Well, I'm sorry, but my eggs are my eggs, and I'll share them with who I want. And if they have a problem with that, then I guess I'm a domestic terrorist. You know?
Or collecting rainwater. Really?
Yeah.
Come on.
Right.
Saving rainwater.
Serious?
Well, Travis asked a question. He says, "Why are all presidents related?" My theory, okay, is simply this: if you actually believe the Sumerian text, and it's older than dirt, literally, it literally tells you the story of the bloodlines in it and stuff. So if you are wondering why they're related, that's the reason why, is the bloodlines.
I think, all you got to do is look at the world, and this is what happens when you let incest run amok, and when you let people of incest run the countries. This is what you get. You get
Well,
psychopaths.
the other thing somebody said, hey, this is no kidding.
No, I'm not kidding. I'm not
No,
joking.
I know.
True.
The
Yeah.
beginning of the month, somebody said to me, we were talking, and we were talking about what had happened in Bangladesh, whatever the hell that is. And, oh shit, I lost my track of thought. I'm looking at this Dove candy, man. I really did.
Oh, the Dove candy, you got to watch it. It'll hypnotize you.
Oh my God, I lost it.
Now I need to go get.
You were talking about something in India. Was it something happening in India? Was it Monsanto?
Well, it was something.
Or...
It was something that he had commented on that actually made a lot of sense, but it here and gone.
Well, it's all right. Happens to us all.
Well, yeah. I think probably what a lot of it also has to do is I haven't slept, and my friends in Second Life, I had to bail out. I have my legs up.
What's kept you from sleeping, man? It's a lot on your mind?
Well, I do have some personal issues, and with the kids. That has stressed me, but.
Well, I don't want to get personal. I was just.
No, I don't mind. I just won't go into the details of what stresses. But the other thing is, and this is really weird, I have to take Percocet for my pain. 1 month, it will drop me and put me to sleep like there is no tomorrow. The next month, like it is now, will jack me up so bad that, it's like I have dropped, 50 gallons of friggin' Red Bull down into me, so. But
it shifts on you. Your chemistry changes, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard people tell me that before. What you need to do is get on some good cannabinoids. You need to smoke all the weed you can, or take tinctures as much as you can, just like a fountain every day. Take as much.
Hey, you can go to any vape shop, any real vape shop, and buy CBD oil.
There you
go. And that will work. Put that in your vape and smoke it.
So, but other than that, how is everybody doing?
And it's totally legal, by the way.
Oh,
CBD
yeah.
oil.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the funny thing. It kind of slipped through, and it's going to be like the golden gem. They're going to come out with studies probably in 8 years like CBD oil helps you get better from the insanity that's been sold to you.
Right.
Well, yeah, and also THC helps a lot too. When you want to kill yourself, just take a big healthy tincture of THC, CBD oil, hold it under your tongue, kick back.
I kid you not, I received a letter last year.
I love tincture.
I know.
In 2014, I got my SSI. Okay. And I went back to my pain management doctor, and we basically started where we left off as far as medicine-wise. And he says to me, "Would you like me to prescribe you some marijuana?" And I looked at him and I go, "No, because one, I can't afford it. Well,
what?
Yeah.
No, always get the prescription. If a doctor's going to give it to you, take it and say, "Sure thing, bud. I'm going to go out and have a steak now."
Well, yeah, but this is the crazy part. in 2014, I got a letter actually from Social Security. My ex-wife got the same letter, and it said that if and this is when the rage was really starting about medical pot.
Okay, what state are you talking about getting a prescription from a doctor?
I'm in Arizona.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So you're out west. Yeah, gotcha.
Yep, out
So
west.
anyway, the feds send out this letter saying that, and they gave the scenario: if you're in an auto accident and you go to the hospital and they do blood work, and there's THC in your system, doesn't matter, minute traces or whatever, that the federal government was going to rip your benefits away from you.
Right.
Oh, there you go.
And yeah, I was like, really? And everybody knows if they would legalize pot, we could put a hell of a dent in our debt.
Hell yeah. Grow pot all the way across the U.S. and we would have no debt whatsoever.
Right.
Our trillions of dollars in debt would be gone in 1 year.
Well, yeah, and because I think it was, let's see.
You know why they haven't legalized it nationally yet? Do you want me to tell you? Because that letter says it all.
Yes, because pharmaceutical companies will go out of business.
There you go. And you know how much money you would take from these pharmaceutical companies if you could grow your own medicine in your backyard? And if you realize that to sleep good, to eat good, to heal yourself from cancer, all you need is like a plant you can grow in your backyard.
Wow.
Right.
How's that going to compete with all the pills they got cranked out every day?
Exactly.
And that puts psychologists and psychiatrists out of business too.
Oh,
and it takes so many industries out of business that they're not willing to do that.
Nope.
Because
that is why
people would have to find a different job, and it might be growing pot.
Even though certain states have said yes, it's legal here, it's still illegal, federally. Which again, that's why they don't want to touch this issue, because if they set it off and say, well, okay, the feds have complete control over all the states, which frankly they do to a certain extent, but
they don't, because
they're not supposed to. Yeah, they're not supposed to have say over the sovereignty of the states, which would bring up an older issue. So it's kind of like Pandora's box for them. Not only is it pharmaceutically Pandora's box, but also the rights of the federal government over the states on what the states vote for or call for. So it's like a big Pandora's box. And meanwhile, they're making all this money on the drug war anyhow. So it's just like, well, we'll keep it illegal federally, and if the states want to go rogue, hey, that's up to them. There's a few here and there, but we're still raking in all the cash and the taxes and the property taxes.
Exactly.
So they're just going to let it ride out as long as they can. And then one day they'll say, okay, it's legal now. Yippee, but we've already sold your nation to the Chinese and the Russians. So good.
Right. Well, and this is the thing of it, because back in 1983, I had a couple of buds that were in Intel, and we were at Fort Bragg, and one said, here, look at this study. And I was reading through it, and it was about the use of medical marijuana or just regular, pot, period. And about the mental, the emotional state of a person and all this and that. And, back then, they said if the United States would only raise pot, they said within a year and a half we would start seeing surplus.
Absolutely.
Well, there's
if you don't believe that, look at all the hemp fields that are in the middle of the country.
Well, look how much money Afghanistan makes off of opium poppies.
And that really went through the roof once we took over that country, didn't it? Holy cow.
And their country isn't even, it's not even a sizable portion of our country.
Oh, no. Well, that was the funny thing, that the stats on, like, the opium trade, once we invaded Afghanistan, how the opium trade went through the roof. I mean,
Oh yeah, that's because we're protecting
80% of
their
the opium in the world comes from Afghanistan in that area. You know, now it
Yeah.
does. Used to not
Yeah,
be
and
that
they
way.
import it and sell it to our people, and they make a ton of money off of it.
Because you get everyone drugged here, and then you go and secure your supplier, which is Afghanistan. You get everyone hooked here, and then you send it back, and you make tons of money. And you get to make money militarily and also in the pharmaceutical industry all at once. And that is consolidation of corporations, my people. I mean, we should be able to draw these lines together, and it's why the military and the pharmaceutical companies are the same, like Hydra head. You know, it's just got different faces on it. I mean, it's
Right.
I mean, it's all right there on the open. I mean, you don't have to, like, you know, do your Sherlock Holmes act and get your sleuthing hat out and your magnifying glass to see it. It's all like public record now, and it's on TV every day. I mean,
Right. They love us in Afghanistan because
yeah.
we give them tons of money for drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Well, our government does.
Well, and all that fiasco going on, you got the you know,
We
the
even import it for them.
2.4 trillion disappearing. You know, just poof. Oh, we can't account for $2.3 trillion. So next day 9/11 happens. Boom.
Next
Well, that was
day,
convenient.
you
Right.
know, I mean,
You got Rumsfeld on
Yeah,
national
I
television.
remember that.
Remember that? It's still on YouTube. I mean, you got the
Yep.
footage. You got everything out right down the open. Now, what are the odds the day after you announce that you've lost $2.3 trillion, 2.3 trillion with a T? That's not billion or million. That's a T. That's
Yeah.
just like, we can't account for this. And then the next day, the Pentagon is attacked, and just so happens that the part of the Pentagon that got hit, all those records were there, and also the World Trade Centers had ties with those records as well. Well, that's worth $2.3 trillion to pull off.
Yeah, that was all in Trade Center 7.
Yep, there you go. And
You know, I mean,
that's worth 2.3 trillion, because then you get the benefit kickbacks of the insurance, the quadruple terrorist insurance the dude got on it. Goldstein, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I
Barry
mean,
Goldstein.
it's just crazy. There's so many layers to this. It's just so obvious. I just don't know what it would take for people to see it anymore.
Well, you know what, and I've used this analogy too, you know, with 9/11. You know, it's so clear. And it you know, like I said, we'll take the color, you know, the color blue. You know, I mean, if I tell you, if I'm the government and I eventually tell you that the sky is purple when it really is blue, eventually people will start believing it's purple, you know?
Some will, some won't.
And yeah, some will. But the thing of it is,
you're not saying it's purple.
no, but I'll tell you one thing.
Conspiracy. He says it's blue. It's really purple.
I actually do see purple when I look at the sky because I'm colorblind.
Oh, are you really? Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, I'll even ask, like, I'll go to the store and I'll ask, hey, I want that yellow lighter right there, and they'll be like, what yellow lighter?
Nice.
And it'll be green, and I'll be like, no, I want the yellow lighter. That's
Man.
or something, you know. I want the yellow lighter. No, there's no yellow lighter.
Hold on. I have okay, wait a minute, guys, everybody. I'm going on an FBI's watch list now. I want you to pay attention. I have one deadly pocket knife. And
oh no.
Okay, wait on.
I'll match your pocket knife. I'll match your pocket knife and raise you this machete.
I'll switch
you. There you go.
I'll switch you. You got a Rambo knife? I need that better than I do a machete. But I have the ultimate weapon. Big lighter.
Hey, watch out. You can make a bomb with that.
Yeah, I know. You can almost equal a friggin' M80 if you do it right.
Yeah.
But you know, I sit back, you know, and I watch some of the stuff that people put out, and some of it's like, no wonder, you know, you wonder why the second coming of Christ has not happened, and
I
why
know why.
EK
You want me to tell you
wants to
why?
invade.
I want to tell you why he hasn't come back yet. Do you want me to tell
Okay,
you?
why?
Because he looks down every year and says, "Oh, no, they're still wearing crosses. I'm not going back, Dad."
Yep, yep.
Right?
But you know, I mean,
No. Check it out. I am going to be doing a show on this very subject, and I know that many of you are Christian and believe in Jesus and all that. And
Me?
I'm not saying that I don't believe that he existed or that he was a man, but I have a totally different outlook on the Bible than everybody else. And
okay.
I think I do too, man.
Okay, I'll spill a little bit of it right now. But,
Let's go into this. Ding, ding. Let's do it.
Oh,
Down
boy.
the rabbit hole we
I
go.
had great conversations with you, Damien,
We're
about
going
this.
down.
I know where you're at.
We're not just going down the rabbit hole. We're going
You
down
are
into
the rabbit hole.
the deep recesses of the rabbit hole. Okay, we're done already in the rabbit hole.
Yep.
We're going down like past the recesses of the rabbit hole. Okay, down into like the little cozy, comfortable spot of the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
I think the Bible was written, manufactured, and put together by the Illuminati to, well, and we know that King James was a Freemason. Okay,
All
so
right.
this is part of where my theory comes from, and this is just a theory. So don't get mad and write me angry letters and
How dare you?
And notes and stuff like that, because
Love this.
I'm not going to pay attention to them anyway.
Yeah.
But here's the point. I think that King James and the Freemasons that he gathered together to write the Bible wrote it to glorify Lucifer.
I think you're 100% correct. And if you cannot connect with the living God right now, then that means you're connecting with a representation of the God that was given to you from 2,000 years ago through a long succession of people that wanted to control your mind and colonize your mind and make it something that it's not and destroy your conscience. And that's why we have the Spanish Inquisition, the Salem witch trials, the Crusade throughout the years.
And here's one of the major.
With the true spirituality, you don't need scripture to tell you if you're right or wrong, because you have a conscience and you realize you don't want to hurt or destroy any living thing unless it's necessary for your own survival in the sense of eating meat, or you certainly don't want to rape kids if you're a priest. You know, you shouldn't.
Right.
I mean,
if God's word was bound, then it wouldn't change. Okay? And
Right.
you wouldn't say, this is okay. Oh, no, now this is okay, just like the Mormon Church does.
Right.
And I know that for a fact because I was a member of the Mormon Church for many years, and I was born into the church and baptized and all that crap. And suddenly in 1989, they suddenly said it was okay that God said black people could be part of the church.
And, well, hallelujah! Let's have a party.
Right. So, okay, but here's one of the major reasons why I think this to be true. Okay. Albert Pike, in Morals and Dogma, in the very beginning of the book, gives praise to Lucifer by saying, "Oh, Lucifer, the light bearer." Okay. And Jesus is again called the way and the light. And
the way, the truth, and the light, I think, was the thing. I am the way, the truth, and the light.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
And what is
still,
it? Any man that comes by me is saved, or something along that lines.
Though he were dead, yet shall he live.
Yes.
right. Well, the whole point of the matter is that the light bearer is Lucifer, period. And it's always been that way. That he's supposedly the angel of light.
And also, we tie that in with Prometheus.
Right.
Yes.
Well, here's the other thing. You know, I mean, and I know we're talking about people that have that are in the church right now that have I don't know how the best way to say it, but is to they've translated stuff, you know, and you know they said that Lucifer's job was he was like the praise and worship leader, you know, and that's why you see in the Bible so much about, you know, worship, you know, the Lord thy God and all of this, because really up in heaven there is nobody to do that. That was Lucifer's first third, you know, his third of the crew to do that, and it just depends on who you believe in.
Well, what if you don't believe in any of the myths, except you learn from all of them?
Right.
All
Well,
of
I mean, I'll tell you, to be very honest, there is something that.
There's the
What if you
Hopi
look
myth.
at all
There's
of
the
them and all
Apache
of them
myth.
are wrong?
Well, I will tell you this, okay, and you guys will really love this.
I bet I will, Doug.
Okay.
I really do bet I will.
Okay. By choice, I'm a Pentecostal. I'm a holy roller. And I started listening to Sin Chen's translation of the Sumerian text.
Oh yeah, I like Sitchin a lot.
Okay? And I will tell you this. According to the calculations, and we'll just have a little faith that Sin Chen was right, because there's some stuff in there that anyway. The Sumerians were here approximately, I think they said, 1,500 years before the Bible even started to get talked about.
Oh, I want to say it was more like 8,000 years.
Well, they at the time
There's a lot of recorded history that goes way back before the Bible was ever written down. Yeah.
But the thing of it is, like, you know, I mean, I'm just going by, you know, the information that I had, that it's like 5,500 years old and blah, blah, blah. The Sumerian, we all know that the Sumerian civilization.
Have another drink, Doug. No.
Yeah, some more iced tea. But this program is brought to you by Chip Ahoy's with Reese's Pieces. But
Dove candy.
And chocolate.
and Dove candy, yeah. And so, just for the sake of discussion, let's say it's 5,500 years old. It's before writing. It's well known that the Sumerians had the best. So it was the very first modern civilization on the planet. Okay?
What Sumerian text are you referring to when you say you read Sumerian text? Which one are you referring to?
I'm not saying that.
Gilgamesh or.
According to the ones, the one that I've read is the ones of, what is it called, the Lost Book of Inki or Inca or whatever the hell his name is.
Enki.
His
name is Enki.
And
Enki.
the thing of it is, you know, what blows my mind, okay, and it doesn't change my faith in God, but it just blows my mind. If these texts are 5,500 years old, 1,500 years before the Bible got there on the scene, every religion in the world is attached to the original translation of the Sumerian text according to Sin Chin. You can't deny it. I mean, the idiocy of the flood, you know, there's things in there. I mean, the diagram of the planets. They counted them from coming. The first one was Pluto, and they were moving in. Earth would be technically the 7th planet coming in.
Well, that's the great question on how would they have that knowledge without any modern understanding, and also why we can't to this day build pyramids even on a smaller scale. The Japanese tried it. They had this whole project where they're trying to build pyramids of 1/4 the scale of the Great Pyramid with
Right.
modern equipment.
Well, here's the other thing.
I think the thing left out of that equation, and a lot of things that we forget about, is we always feel like we're moving forward and evolving and learning new things, but we forget that through the history of humanity, we've lost a lot of knowledge. We've lost a lot of understanding. We've lost.
They cut the stones for the pyramids with lasers. That's how they did it.
Possible.
I
The
can't.
only thing that could make those cuts that perfect and
Yeah, I mean, it's like ridiculously insane.
I mean,
Inside
if
the
you
King's
see
Chamber and the Great
and
Pyramid.
how do you explain the fact that they came from 200 fucking miles away? They didn't carry those things that far. They didn't.
You couldn't float them.
I mean, you
couldn't
can't slap
float
them on your back and just walk up the street. I mean, and that's the
No.
thing is we've never
And they didn't
thought,
put them
we've
on
never thought
logs
of this.
and roll them 200 miles. They didn't do that.
We're
Well,
too arrogant of a species to throw in this whole equation that we're actually de-evolving at certain stages in the history of humanity. We have de-evolved. Whether it's the Dark Ages, we can call it that, or whether
Right.
it's just like we go backwards and we lose knowledge that was really sacred and important because we got too arrogant at one point and blew ourselves up. And it's like Mars. You know, I think Mars was inhabited once, and then now they had nuclear wars, and now they're gone. And
Right.
maybe here. Who knows? You know, it's just all
I don't.
speculation.
You know, but the thing of it is, and we were
It's
talking about
evolving.
the solar system counting it coming in. Now, the last book of Inky, I have to say one thing, and it's very and if you are an alien on this planet, and
I am. I am an
well,
alien.
so am I.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah, but here's the thing of it. And I don't even know if Sinjin is right about the decoding. Okay, I really don't. But here's the thing of it. If I'm giving you all this valuable information,
I mean, like irrigation and how to like flood irrigate and how to like use language and
right?
okay,
That's-
gotcha. Sumerian kind of. I was just tying it in with what you're saying about reading the Sumerian text of what you're getting at with what information they actually gave us would be like civilization and laws and agriculture and that sort of thing.
Here's the thing that I don't understand about and about the Lost Book of Inky is because how according to one of the stories, and basically what it was this guy the aliens were having sex, okay?
Well, that's in
What
the Old
did-
Testament too. You don't have to look further than that.
Yeah,
That's in-
but this is
Right.
what I'm
Angel.
getting at.
Angels came down and mated with the women of Earth.
yeah, that's right in the old. That's in Genesis, right there, black and
Yeah.
white.
But here's the thing that I'm saying. If I'm an alien, why would I put a thing in there about date raping some human chick or whatever? It's
Well, you wouldn't,
irrational.
but the humans that recorded the history would, because that's the only way they could convey what happened.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, some of it it's like, wow.
An alien's not going to write a book for humanity. It's going to be
No.
humanity's writing about their experiences with aliens.
Exactly.
Like always, humanity is going to write what they know about.
Right.
Or
And an alien's not going to say,
or-
well, I feel obliged to learn the human language to write something about what I did to them. And no. And that's why Genesis and even what you were saying, the Lost Book of Inky, why was it a lost book as far as where was it at? Where was it hiding? Did they
I
find
mean,
it?
even the Lost
form
Book
or
of
tablet
Enoch
form?
is, and I really do, and I will tell you, my theory on the lost book of Enoch, the reason why they didn't do it is because it's very simple. They couldn't handle the truth.
Well, I mean, even in the Old Testament, it talks about, you know, the sons of God coming down and laying with the daughters of man, and, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's right there, and that's been there since I was a kid, and I always said, well, what does that mean, you know, and who's
Right.
this us? You know, we slowly lose the us, we, you know, God's talking to people in the heavens called we gods, we us, you know, and then it goes away after the beginning of the Old Testament. It's like, well, where did that go? Well, did the gods like retire? Some of them's like, okay, God, you're going to be the one in charge. We're all going to retire to this other solar system. You're going to be the one we're going to leave in charge. You know, it's like, what the heck, you know?
Well,
I mean, but it is a mind blower just to think. I mean, because according to
the Torah,
yeah,
where the Bible came from, because the Torah is the first five, the Pentateuch, the first 5 books of the Bible. Okay.
Yes.
And in the beginning, it says in Genesis of the Torah, in the first book, it says that they, the gods, came here and chose one to preside over this planet. That's what it says. So that tells me there's not just one God, and that he's not some invisible being, for one.
I mean, Josh Reeds actually did the read on it, you know, and he's good at what he does, you know. But you know, I mean, he got to talking about people's religion, and he said, you know, here's a sad fact about Christians. He says, I will tell you this straight up. If we had somebody that landed, you know, an alien race that landed, you know, somewhere, let's just say in Florida, you know, a lot of Christians, what would the first thing they would be doing? They'd be on their knees and literally worshiping these people as gods, you know. So, but anyway, guys, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to let you guys continue on with the show. Damien, thank you so for letting me on.
No worries. No worries.
I need to get out of here because my meds are kicking in, and
you need some sleep. I can see your eyes are dragging.
Yeah, I know. That's why my baby girls that are in virtual reality that I have.
I'm gonna take a pee break real quick.
Okay, well I'll stay here until you get back.
I'm still gonna be here. I just gotta pee.
My friends that are, you know, my baby girls that are in Second Life, I told them, I said, you know, I said I've been up way too long. They go, well, how do you know that? I said, I went out to the ex-wife. I said, I had a pair of shorts on, and I just kind of lifted them up, and I knew what leg was swollen the worst. And I said, you see anything wrong with this? She says, your left leg is so swollen. Why? And I went, simple. I said, I haven't been up. I said, I haven't been to bed since Tuesday, and I've been on my feet way too much, you know. It's just like, yeah, you need to get off of them. And my other roommate, God bless her soul, she went in on Tuesday, had lower back surgery, and she had a couple discs down there pinned, and they basically fused them and stuff. And she came home today, and you know, I'm not intentionally fussing over her, but you know, I want her to make sure that she doesn't overdo it, you know. And I told her, I said, man, you got more balls than I do. She goes, no, I don't. She says, because, and she just stopped, right? And I said, you know, you could not catch me letting a doctor cut on my neck or my back, you know. So, but yeah, I definitely got to get out of here because, yeah, as you said, my eyes are so heavy. I mean, they look like they almost are acting like anchors for the USS Enterprise. So, everybody in the chat room, love you. Guys, keep up the good job. And I will see you guys later. Bye.
See you later, Doug. Have a good night.
Peace, my brother.
Hola, señor.
Hola, ¿cómo está?
Oh, you know.
Yeah.
Leaked off the porch. Had a quick drag off of smoke. It's a good thing. It's a good night.
Yes, cigarettes are good.
Yeah, they are, man.
Hey.
Anything the government tells me is bad for me, I definitely want to do.
Yeah, absolutely. That means
I don't know why people haven't caught on to that. It's like,
well,
you know,
just like coffee. Coffee's great for you. They say,
coffee.
oh, blah, blah, blah. Coffee, blah, blah, blah. No, coffee is good.
I
Coffee.
love coffee.
It does things for you that that other things cannot do. It's one of the only things that contains tannic acid.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's the thing with tobacco in itself. In the organic form with coffee combined, it makes you a thinker. And we can't have those running around. So, you know, the coffee's good as long as you get it through Starbucks. You know, well, we can let the population have it. We can't have them all smoking everywhere. So we're going to throw a bunch of additives in tobacco because we can't have thinking population. You can't sit around the table every night pounding your fist saying, we're being screwed. No, you got to be eating Hot Pockets and, you know, going to the mall, you know.
Yeah, but if you want that good natural tobacco, you got to pay extra.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
You know, they charge you less for the stuff that has all the shit in it.
And we're going to implant plant into your mind that it's going to kill you eventually. That's why I always tell people, always get the packs of tobacco that says low birth weight on it if you're a guy, because that way you're clear. It's like I found my brand. I'm always going to buy packs of the low birth weight one. You know, the warning that says low birth that. You know.
I never heard that one.
Oh yeah. Just always shop around. You know, just make sure you get the low birth weight, and you're fine.
I'm not paying $50 for a can of tobacco like that. That's what they want for American Spirit, I think, is like $50 for a can.
Yeah.
And so I buy drum. It's a little bit less, but it's good. Ding, ding. Oh my God.
Oh, he's saying thanks for having. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, no worries.
You know, it's like a tale of two cities, man. Where we're at right now was the best of times, the worst of times. You know,
and it really is, honestly.
And it that's the thing we got to fight for. On what makes it the best and the worst of times is there's all this change in the air, and there's also a lot of trouble in the air. So we've got a lot to wade through. And as far
honestly, I think the best of times was when I was young and naive.
Well, of course. I mean, that's like
more naive.
I mean, you know, you see a sleeping child, and it's just like, to go back to that, you know, that.
Yeah, to not have any cares or worries or knowledge of the bullshit.
Yeah, the unfettered, just absolute, limitless possibility in any given moment. You know.
Unfortunately, I started learning about the bad of the world very early because I really had a lot of much older friends, 30, 40, 50 years older than me. So, and the people that I hung out with were kind of older, you know, 5 to 10 years older than me. So, so I started getting knowledge at a very early age, and it just blossomed from there, you know, and that it's a good thing, but it was also in a way, I guess, a bad thing too, just because I didn't have the innocence anymore, you know. I learned about the world at an early age and how, you know, I was told at 12 years old, don't ever file for taxes. And this is from an old man. It was in World War I. You know, he's in a convalescent home and dying. And he's like, don't ever file for taxes. promise me you'll never file for taxes. And I said, okay, I won't.
Right.
And guess what? He was right.
Well, the truth comes, comes in the form of the wonderful play Hamlet by William Shakespeare.
Mm,
You cannot take from me anything that I will not willingly part with except my life.
right. That's true.
And that's just where it still stands. It's just I've always liked that from that play, and that's where we are right now. It's like, well, you can take anything you want from me that I'll give to you as long as I feel like you're entitled, but my life is the one thing I will not willingly part with freely. And the standards in that life, the standards of the time we have here, are we going to kick around scripture from 2,000 years ago? Well, I'm not, because again, I stand by the angle of you cannot connect with a living, breathing God right now. Then don't bring up some crusty spiritual beliefs based on scrolls you found in a cave, And I'll be happy to look over them and speculate on what they mean, but as far as giving them precedence over what I'm experiencing right now, no, because that's the only thing I've ever experienced, what I'm experiencing now. What happened with the apostles and the disciples and Christ, and if he really lived or if he didn't, where he was buried, where he wasn't buried, if he was crucified on a Sunday or a Tuesday, who knows?
Well, he died on April 3rd. I know that. He was crucified on April 3rd. My fucking birthday.
But the Gregorian calendar came later, so how do we know? Because we're on the Gregorian calendar now.
Well, that was tracking back through the ages.
Gotcha. So if you apply the new calendar that came out now to the thing that happened in the past, then it would have been April 3rd.
Yes.
There you go. So that's right around Easter. Yeah, that's the month of Easter.
That was on my birthday, as a matter of fact, which does land on Easter.
Well, and also, too, that failed to mention that there were millions of people, probably millions, crucified by the Romans when they took over all the different lands they did, when they conquered the entire continent of Europe, pretty much, and also the upper continents of South America and not South America, sorry, Africa. There were a lot of people that were thrown up on crosses. So that's not really that unique way to die. I mean, a unique way to die now would be like a freak accident with power tools while skydiving. That would be in a unique way to go out.
Yeah, being put on a cross would be unique now, I guess.
Oh, absolutely. That'd be huge. I keep getting these ding dong things, but I don't see it.
That's in a Google Hangout, I'm sure.
Okay, it's funny because I don't see any new messages, but I keep hearing blink.
Ding.
The thing is that to take your spirituality back into your own hands requires you to let go of the signpost. And I think that the Bible is pretty much, and all the scripture is pretty much, it's like climbing up a signpost that points you the way to the city of Oz, Okay, this way to the city of Oz. Well, you choose to climb on the signpost and cling to it tightly, as opposed to following the road, which you have to let go of the scripture.
Well, here's the thing that strikes me all funny. Okay, people read the Bible, but I don't think they understand it. Jesus said, "Don't have any idols, none, any at all. Period." That includes him.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know that's what Jesus said, and the Old Testament said, "Thou shalt have no other gods before me," and
right.
And that's where it always is confused.
Anything. No crosses. No Jesus. No Mary. No anything. Anything.
Well, the whole thing reeks of this to me is that you have a very angry, genocidal, slavery-driven God figure that comes from the Old Testament, which is all there. There's a lot of scripture on how to treat your slaves, and genocide is okay because he commands it in the Old Testament.
And then suddenly it changes.
And then suddenly it's like, well, we've gotten our PR campaign together. So we're going to send someone in that is going to be a little more gentle and actually help us evolve with the ages as humanity grows. So our message can be heard by far and wide and carried out to the ends of the earth. And if we don't do that, then we're going to go the way of the dinosaur. And
okay, I have video. I have the video from this evening or today when the truck. I actually have the video from the truck that was in.
Get it up, man.
So
I'm
we're
going to mute right now while you play that.
Because I'm doubting very much that they actually put that on mainstream media. I didn't see it, so I don't know.
I'm going to mute while you. Are you going to play that right now?
I am going to play it right now. So let's watch this and see what happened. Well, that wasn't a very good video, now was it? Let's see if we can find a different one.
Well, it was someone from their balcony. It looked like.
It did? Yep, it sure did.
It worked.
If I can find something different here.
There was no sound on that, just so you know.
I know. Damn Explorer. I'm going to have to do something different other than Explorer. And do it, because otherwise Explorer just doesn't work well with all of this. That's all.
Yeah, I know, huh?
Right.
I have to use Chrome to use these programs efficiently.
Maybe I'll get Chrome, because I don't think we have Chrome on here, which is kind of weird because it's Windows.
I usually use Firefox for normal internet activity, but when I go on this, I use Chrome. Just works better for some reason. I don't know why. They're associated. Google Chrome. Hangouts is Google. That's why probably. It's a ploy. It's a conspiracy.
Maybe. You never know.
They're coming for our coffee and cigarettes.
Early moments of truck attack in Nice. That may be the one.
Well, it goes to show that all you need to change the policy of a nation is just one lone crazed nut to take out a few people on a street.
And that's the same
course
video.
of an entire nation. It's the same thing we're dealing with here, and it's what people got to remember: is you get one lone nut, shouldn't change the policy for an entire nation, because it's one lone nut.
Right. Right.
That is no way to run a republic, but that's not what we're in, and I totally understand. It's all gone. But at the same time, just remember, when there's one incident that changes the policy for an entire country of 300 and something million people, that's not how you run a republic. Never was, never will be.
Well, how long is this video? Let's see. I'm hearing you ding.
I keep hearing that ding too, and I don't know what's going on. I'm not doing anything.
Hi, hon. Let's see. We can make a cup of coffee, dear.
Yeah, you already have it installed.
Okay. I'm just gonna have to run it off that. This is 46 seconds. And I'm gonna pause it here. Go full screen. Come over here and share. And let's see if it'll play. This is the aftermath. Wow. And there's actual blood. So you know this isn't a false flag.
I don't see the video you're playing right now. It's just all black.
Oh no, don't tell me that.
I hate to be the one to tell you that. What's that? Yeah, it should be playing. The last one played, but I don't see. Okay, I just saw something flash with a guy on a bike. Now I see the Daily Caller.
Hold on. That was stupid because that's what it was. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. Why isn't it showing? Let's see. Bum, 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 bum.
Bum, 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 bum,
See
bum.
this?
I do. It's the guy laying. I see what you're doing there.
Yeah, okay, good. Then maybe it'll show now.
I still see it.
This thing's touchy sometimes, I think. Tricky, touchy, touchy, touchy.
Maybe if you back screen, it does something crazy. But no, I see what you're doing right now. First question I have is, why is that gentleman only in like a pair of shorts and no clothes on?
Well, he's got a shirt on, but apparently it's,
He does?
yeah, torn
Oh, okay.
down. Because it's France. Look,
So when you maximize it, it goes to black.
there's lots of blood.
When you maximize what you were just playing, it goes to black.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But I
Okay, you
can
can't
see it.
maximize.
Yeah.
Can you see it?
Not yet.
No?
Let me see if there's a lag. No, I just see a black screen with live at the upper right-hand corner.
Well, that is odd. I cannot maximize it then. And we're just going to have to do it the way that it was done. So,
You could ask the people in the chat room if there's when you're playing,
why
if
is
they see it.
Clovis on
I
here?
don't see it on Hangouts.
For him to talk.
Just here. Okay, I'm going to replay it.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Nope, that's my video. So, okay. I'm just going to replay it this way. And maybe if I pinch and pull, does that work? Can you see it bigger?
Yep. There you go.
Awesome.
That's working. So if you hit play there, it should.
The beauty of touchscreens.
Yeah, huh?
Yes.
Okay, that's working now.
Now it's not.
Not playing,
showing. Now it's got a lot of lag.
huh?
Hold on here. You got a lot of lag on it.
Yeah, and there's a strange sound that.
Okay. Let's see if it'll play now. There it goes. Hold on. I'm going to run it back. It seems to have a little bit of lag. Maybe they don't want this shown.
Well, imagine that. Well, it's yes, it's not fluid coming through, but I don't know if it's just my bandwidth or.
I know I don't understand. It should be showing it's playing, but
I can see your cursor and everything, but
just stuck.
not wanting to play right now, huh?
I will find a different one to play.
It looks like the footage that's there is after the bus rolled through.
It's actually decent footage. The first time I played it, it was fine.
Yeah. Wow, man, it's just I just hope that. Well, I mean, the French people have a backbone. I will say that about them. You know, it's like I don't have any nationalistic kind of, you know, the only reason I'm American is my parents fucked here. So, I mean, that's it. You know, it's like if I had a flag that I had to choose, it'd be my dad hunkered over my mom's 4x4 butt, you know.
Right.
And, you know, good luck getting to march into war for that flag. But, but anyhow, that's the only reason I'm American. My parents screwed here. I was born here.
Hey,
I don't have
lucky
anything
man.
French or, you know, I know, huh?
Right.
I'm not anti-patriotic. I'm not patriotic at the sense of what patriotic means. If it means standing up for the current regime, then no, I'm not. You know, I don't know what I am. It's so.
I'm American.
Like
That's
what's
what
going
I
on
am.
with
I'm
France?
fucking American.
Yeah, I'm an American. I was born here. I was raised here. I've been here my whole life.
I'm not English. I'm not fucking. Well, I have a lot of blood in me. A lot of blood, like from places. You know, Irish, German, English, French,
Sure.
Indian. But I'm fucking American. I'm not Irish. I'm not Irish American. I'm not English American. I'm a fucking American.
Yeah, we were born here, and you know, my parents screwed here, and I was born here, and there's a long line of where they came from. You know, English, Irish, Cherokee, you know, German,
Yep.
Italian, on and on. Like I'm a mutt, you know.
Yeah.
I'm a global mutt, you know.
But pretty much that's everywhere, unless you are from a place and you're in that place still, like Africa or Somalia or whatever have you.
And that's where it's like the ball's in the court of the French people right now, because they have the situation unfolding where suddenly the day their president announces that they're not going to extend the emergency state, something happens where they extend it for 3 months, you know.
Right. And it's
Wow, there's coyotes right outside my window. That's so cool.
oh, awesome.
They're like howling.
Yeah, I'd keep them away from the chickens.
Oh yeah, they're all locked up. That's why I locked them up earlier. Exactly why I did.
Yep. Damn coyotes. They're not as bad as the foxes, though, really.
No, it's true. I didn't mean to interrupt you, though. I just heard him howling out the window here.
Oh, you're fine. I walked with a coyote out in the desert. It was cool. He came up from, I don't know where he came up from, but he walked about half mile with me.
Mm.
Yeah, it was amazing.
I think that's what we got to bring back is the spirit of the coyote. You know, maybe that's why they were howling just now, because I was thinking about that. Like always being the prankster, you know?
Yes.
When things get really, really serious in the media and everything, people need to learn how to be good pranksters again and be like, you know, I'm going to screw around with this. I'm going to send in my tax form and tell them I'm a 6'2", you know, Pacific Islander. You know, just check all the wrong boxes. Have fun with it. You know, start somewhere. At least that's something.
And tell them you don't have a birth certificate or a social security card.
Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking of declaring that my name is Juan Eduardo, and so I can get some good benefits here in this country for a change for health benefits and
You
stuff.
took my name, damn it.
Juan Eduardo?
Yeah. Edward Juan.
There you go, Edward.
W-A-N.
Yeah. Juan es muy guapo.
Like, what you talking about that now?
Yeah, I'm thinking about, like, just making a terrible foreign accent and just saying, no habla inglés,
I think about the number now.
I need free food and free
What
money.
you talk about? What you talk about? You want some Chinese food?
Yeah, or faking I'm from Syria, and just get a good tan going on, dye my hair black.
I'm really, really, really hoping one day that one of those scam artists call me. You know, the IRS scam artists.
Oh, what's their whole angle?
Oh, they want you to get a green dot card and put a bunch of money on it and send it to them,
Oh,
India. They're calling from India.
it's amazing to me that people actually do that.
I'm calling you from the IRS.
I am here to tell
No,
you
are not. Don't lie. Fuck.
It has been understood that you have many things that you need for us. We want you to give us money so we do not take you to jail.
If you fail to pay, we will have to arrest you and take your house.
If you do not pay, Ganesh will find you in your bed and beat you with his trunk.
Well, my house is a tent, so come and take it.
Yeah. Well, that's the funny thing. I always get random calls like, warning, your credit card debt. You could fix it with this. And it's like, I don't have credit cards. So, obviously.
I have no credit card debt. I also don't have because of it. So it seems like
we're a danger.
The more credit you can get,
Mm-hmm.
we'll give
That's
you
why we're a threat.
$1,000
We don't have
loan.
credit card debt.
Right?
That'd be a great rap song because it rhymes. A threat. I'm a threat because I ain't got credit card debt. Where it rolls off the tongue,
Yeah, I have no debt whatsoever. None.
Yeah, I know. That's why you're a danger.
Credit card debt, no student loans because I never went to college. I did for a semester, but I didn't go through
I did the same thing. I went to college for one semester and dropped out halfway because I was like, screw this.
Drop out. I just went. I was just going to this class.
Oh, nice. That's awesome. Well, that's the funny thing is if you got the schedule, you could totally go to college for free because they wouldn't even know any better.
Yeah, they had 120 students in their class. So I just sat somewhere up in the corner and nobody ever noticed me.
Well, the great thing is if I had a lot of free time, I would sit in a lot of classes and find the one where they're just preaching this whole propaganda, and then just one day just stand up and just ream them, and then just walk out.
Right.
And make it a moment that the other
students
don't
listen to your oligarchy spill anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's the potential is just, it'd be great, because you walk out, and you would have influenced all those students to maybe say, wow, who was that guy? Well, he wasn't even a student here, and they're like, oh my gosh, how could he be here? I thought this was a safe space,
Right.
I thought this was a safe zone where we didn't allow people that were not authorized to be here. Or if your ideas got through, it's like, oh, that's pretty cool. He just gave the big middle finger to the professor and walked out, and he made a good point on his way out. He actually stood up, made a good point, and left. But he wasn't even a student here. So should I believe him because he didn't have any money behind it, or should I believe him because he didn't have any money? It's like, who knows?
Exactly.
That's the hard one. Because now no one takes anything serious unless there's a price tag on it. So that's the hard angle of our culture, man. No one takes anything serious unless it's got a price tag dangling on it for a high dollar.
Right. Well, people were finding out that where am I? What's going on
People are finding out that that's not necessarily true, right?
Oh, they hate student loans right now. I'll tell you that.
It's only going to get worse too.
Oh, I know.
Giving them out because that's the way to get you from cradle to grave. Just like you want to give infants antidepressants now.
Well, now they want to start taking people to jail that owe Sally Mae, because that's the only company that does student loans. Sally Mae, all of them. Sally Mae.
Well, I know if I see Sally Mae, what I'm going to do, I'm going to slap her ass, roll her in flour, and aim for the wet spot.
Slap the shit out of that bitch for me.
No, just slap her, roll her in flour, because you're never going to find the hole unless you roll her in flour. She's so fat. Aim for the wet spot.
I'd like to know where they came up with the name Sally Mae. Because
It was a bunch of drunk fraternity dudes sitting around. I know. We'll call it Sally Mae, and we'll call it Freddie Mac.
Right.
And they actually did it. It's like, wow, okay.
Hey, there's leagues.
I mean, really, Sally Mae, Freddie Mac.
Right? Sally Mae, and it's like written the old way, like MAE. You know, they didn't say.
Oh, no. Exactly. Well, that shows you that probably used to be the code word on how you'd get a loan approved without any credit check. And then it became an institution.
Right.
Probably started in the late 1800s, I would imagine. And they started using that as like the speakeasy phrase, you know?
I need some Sally Mae.
Yeah, I got to go talk to Sally Mae about this loan I want to get approved. Well, do you know who Sally Mae is? Yeah, I do. Well, you're approved because you knew the words.
Right. Exactly.
I'm going to go see Freddie Mac about this. Oh, really? Who's Freddie Mac? You know.
Well, he's just a guy. I know.
Just a fella. Freddie Mac.
He's pretty much
happened. Yeah, I mean, why not call it ball cheese, you know?
Right? You could have called it anything.
Anything. Yeah, Famunda. Make more sense, be more accurate in the description of what they're doing.
Yep.
Yeah, with the accumulation of events though over the last 2 weeks, it's mind-boggling. I mean, the hearings and everything too. You got to save those links I sent you on those hearings and watch those because it's wow. I mean, it's like
I definitely will. That fucking bitch, I'm telling you.
Loretta Lynch.
Yes, her. That one.
Oh yeah.
I can't even say her name. She fucking pisses me off so much.
No, it's all right there. I mean, if you ever want to see, I
can't believe she just went, you know, straight Fifth Amendment on him, you know, and she didn't have the balls to say, "I'm taking my Fifth Amendment."
Well, she didn't even say. Yeah, no, she could have if she'd done that.
She didn't even have the balls to say that. She's like, "I need to go over the paperwork and research it a little." No.
Oh yeah. It's like
answer the motherfucking question, or I'm going to find you in contempt.
Yep. Well, I mean, and that's the authority these people do not have because it's a hearing, it's not a trial. And see,
well, the whole point of the matter is she took an oath to uphold the Constitution, and she's a lying cunt.
And that's the highest lawyer in the land, right there, the Attorney General. That's it.
Yeah, the highest lawyer in the land is using bullshit to get out of telling what she knows.
Yeah, to protect. And also with the known meeting with the spouse of a person that's going under indictment, going before a council, meeting on the tarmac on your private jet, and oh, we talked about our grandkids. That was it. I meet courtesy with courtesy. That's all she said. It's like, come on. What are the odds? 3 days before a hearing, you're going to meet with the spouse of the person that's the subject that you're going to be investigating? Come on. But you know, it's like we've seen it. We've seen this before. We've seen this a million times before in so many different arenas, you know.
Right.
What kind of slap on the ass do we need? I mean, what's it going to take? We're going to have to watch politicians come on TV and rape kittens for us to take them seriously, that they're not really good people?
Oh, no. Then they'll have PETA on their ass. You don't want that. Well,
Well,
listen,
even if they had PETA, they'd
trying their Cheerios.
then there'd be a hearing. Did you rape this kitten or not? I'm going to have to consult with my team because everything's a per case study. And well, did you rape the kitten or not?
And we haven't ruled that raping kittens is wrong.
Yeah, because the interpretation of the law may vary from case to case, and I cannot therefore say it's right or wrong to do so, and therefore I have to, on and on. That's exactly what happened in that whole hearing with Loretta Lynch. But she got grilled. There were some great representatives I was proud of that were actually, raking her across the coals and making her look like an ass. And that's what they did.
I know, right? Great.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They look like the ass she really is.
And that's all you can ask for now. But the funny thing is about these hearings, they happen 3 days before the 7-week break for all of those fuckers. They get 7-week vacation right now.
Why are they getting paid vacation is what I want to know.
Because we're gullible fucks.
Not all of us.
Well, not all of us. We aren't, but yeah, we're the only ones asking why are they on 7-week vacation right now, huh?
Right.
They get another one in the winter too.
They still get paid.
Oh yeah. Well, they don't get any pay cut because they get 7 weeks off in the summer. No, they're all like right now probably flying to Barbados. Barbados, They
I'd like to know why the middle class or why the regular American, if they get paid $350,000 a year plus all their other payoffs, then they get 7 weeks off a year, and
no, more than that. This is
you don't even get a week off a year.
This is just the summer break. They also get the winter break too. When they go out for the holidays.
Oh, I know. The whole month.
They get this is a 7-week summer break they're getting right now. And it was convenient that all these hearings popped up 3 days before all that happened, right? Before the big break.
Right, because they're not going to get done with it in 3 days.
No, and they also can't follow up on any discrepancies. They get a 7-week break to sit on it and to get threatening phone calls from the Clintons to say, "How dare you? If you do this, you're going down."
So I wonder how many car accidents will happen over the next 7 weeks.
Oh, there's going to be some more deaths, that's for sure, with all the crap going on. Mysterious.
Most of them will be car accidents.
Oh yeah, there'll be strange heart attacks, weightlifting accident. A strange weightlifting accident. Yeah.
As long as none of them are friends with Cheney or they'll be okay.
Yeah, huh? They'll take him duck. No, yeah. Rumsfeld. Yeah, Cheney will take him duck hunting. That's it.
Yeah, come on, buddy, let's go hunting.
Let's go duck hunting. Oh, there was a terrible accident. Actually, it shot the guy.
You be the man.
Cheney shot a dude duck hunting. Remember that?
Yeah, I do. As a matter of fact,
it's like, how do you shoot someone duck hunting? Like, with 2 guys? Like, it's almost impossible unless you're just an idiot. I mean, how do you shoot a shotgun at your friend? I don't care how excited you are about ducks flying around. It's like, line of fire. Like, I don't know.
Well, usually when you shoot ducks, you're pointing your gun in the air. Okay, for what?
Yeah, I know, that's the funny thing. It's like, it's not deer hunting. It's like duck hunting. The ducks are right. If you're shooting ducks on the ground, it's like, what the hell are you doing? And if you're shooting in the air, it's like, what was your guy like jumping out of a tree when you shot him, or was he parachuting in? He was going to airdrop into the duck hunting location, and you happened to shoot him because you thought he was a duck, or
yeah. It was
how that happens.
It was the ducktail on the back of his head. That's what it was.
Yeah, I mean, when you shoot skeet, you don't shoot it on the ground. It's up pretty high.
Right.
That's how you train for duck hunting, and it's like somehow Cheney ended up shooting his duck hunting partner. I think it was
the funny thing is they call those pigeons.
Oh, I know, huh? We call them skeet sometimes, but yeah, I've heard them called pigeons before. Skeet shooting.
Pigeon shooting, skeet shooting.
Yeah, I've seen these fancy radio controlled airplanes they use now, where it'll like flare up when you shoot it, so they fly it by you, so you can train to shoot pigeons.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's high tech. I've never done it, but I've seen it happen. I'm like, wow, okay, well, that's high tech pigeon training there.
We have a really awesome shooting gallery here, and they have like couples nights and stuff like that where it's pretty cheap. And Fridays are fully automatic Fridays. So you go in and they have fully automatic weapons that you can shoot. It's awesome.
Yeah, that's a great 4th of July celebration.
Right?
I was trying to tell someone too, the idea of the fully automatic is really, I don't know, it's you
That is an
only
assault
want to do.
weapon. Okay? That is an assault weapon. Anything that you can pull the trigger and it just keeps shooting, that's an assault weapon.
Well, and I also stated that, you know, if you want accuracy, then you only do 2 to 3 round bursts. You never just pull the trigger on something and let it fly unless you're going out, you know, in a blaze of glory, you know.
Right, exactly. Because
2
you're
to
not
3
gonna,
round bursts is all you'd ever want to do, even with a fully automatic weapon. You know, you don't just pull the trigger and just let it fly, because it's going to be bouncing all over the place. You're going to be shooting the trees and, you know,
right.
like everywhere else except where you want to shoot.
Depends on how steady your aim is, though.
That's true. You could have a really strong arm. You could be like, you know, really strong bodybuilder and hold that rifle steady as you pull the trigger and it bounces all over the place. But if you want accuracy, it's like da 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 da
Yep.
da 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 da. I mean, that's just how you're trained. I mean, if you're going to use even automatic, and that's the thing a lot of people don't get, is just because you see Rambo movies where he's pulling like 2 M16s, one in each hand, and he's just blasting all the bad guys away. It's like, yeah, the accuracy's all to hell if you did that.
Right.
There's no accuracy in that. You know, automatic in each hand. Now you can have the Uzis and you get a high fire rate. Well, that's just making up for your poor aim when you get a higher fire rate, you know. But I don't know why I'm talking about all that, but
There's a lot of stuff on Bastille Day today.
yeah, I know it's still unfolding. Well, I just can't believe they found an arsenal in the truck. But
hey, here's one that's live.
oh yeah,
Bastille Day Massacre live, breaking news report.
There you go, man.
Huh?
Bust it up, see what's happening. You can broadcast.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's see. So this is live. I don't know where this is from. Enchanted Life Path, live and proud. Okay. Let me pause this for a moment and we'll see what they say.
Cool. I'm gonna mute myself.
Me too. I'm gonna be all Neo. Start screen share. Present to everyone. Can you see that?
I cannot see that. It's a black screen.
Okay. How about now?
I can see your cursor, but I cannot see any images. It's the black screen with the cursor moving around on it.
Okay. Let me present it again. Now?
It is negro. It is black still. Now you're back.
Okay, good.
I can see you.
I don't know what this is. This has to be from Britain.
You think it's a BBC report or something?
Let's see. Let's go back to the beginning. Here we go. Yeah, this is from BBC.
Okay.
That's where it's from. No, I want the beginning, fuckers. Beginning, please. I want the beginning. You won't let me go to the beginning? Really? Okay.
So I still see you on the webcam.
No!
I do. I see your face. But again, I don't know how that affects whatever you're showing on, if it does affect anything you're showing on the channel.
It is.
Just on Hangouts, I see you. Just so you know.
How's that? Can you see it? No?
I still see you.
It will not let me show it from the beginning when they're talking about it.
It's the devil.
Bastards. Okay, fine. Didn't want to see that anyway.
Yeah.
Damn British.
They're always up to no good.
Damn British.
It's so frustrating with technology. It's like it should be so easy to just like share what you're watching.
Just fucking screen share it, right?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, should be so easy, but no. Got to be like some sort of monumental like accomplishment. I totally went through all that trying to work all that stuff out too.
right.
It's like, really?
Wow, we've been going since we're almost 3 hours in.
Really? Already?
Yeah, really.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I went on 9 here, and it's almost midnight there. Yeah, or it's almost midnight here. I mean, that's what I meant to say.
Yeah. It's almost midnight, or it's almost 3 o'clock here.
Wow, dude. Well, I think we covered a lot, and
I did. I think so too. And we could probably talk more later, or
absolutely,
and talk or whatever.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
But I always appreciate the opportunity to speak with you, and I enjoy our conversations, whether private or public.
Right. They're always very interesting.
And yeah, I wish we would record the private ones sometimes and just play an audio tape of it.
I probably can do that because I do have recording on my phone. Every call that's made in or out is recorded.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Well, there you go.
Every single call that comes in or out of my phone is recorded, unless I stop recording, which I normally do right from the beginning. So
that you have that option.
Oh, it's not. It's an app that I downloaded.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That would be handy.
It has come in handy a couple times, actually.
I only need it for my baby mama. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. Everyone else, like, if I'm calling to do, if I call somebody to do an interview or whatever, then I'll record and save it, or let it save, because it'll ask me if I want to delete it or stop it or whatever, and I can stop recording whenever I want. Or it's a really good app. But I usually stop recording my conversations right from the beginning, especially if I know the person or whatever. So
yeah,
because otherwise it just eats up space.
Totally.
But
I can do that though, at least, because I've never heard of an app like that. But that would be
it's just a recording app.
That's awesome, man.
It's called let's see, what's it called? It's called
Never heard of that.
it is called, I have to sift through all my crap here. Oh,
It's all good.
it's called Voice. No. What is it called?
Taint braid.
Tape trade. That's it. I can't find it for some reason.
That's all right. I don't even have a smartphone to use it on. So that would be my big obstacle. I have a dumbass phone.
Oh yeah, one of those that just makes calls and texts.
That's all it does. Well, I could use the internet, but it's like ancient. It's like a 5-year-old phone.
Oh yeah, it takes forever to even get a freaking page up. I had a phone like that. In fact,
Yeah,
I think it's in my backpack. Oh, call recorder. That's what it's called.
call recorder. Oh, okay. Well, if I get a fancy ass phone, I'm gonna get call recorder.
It's a really excellent app, actually. Really excellent.
No, it sounds like it's a great concept. You know, that would be something I would definitely want to use. That way, it records it even if you don't want it.
Yep.
But if you have a crazy epic conversation, you're like, oh, I got to save that one. And it's there.
Right?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yep.
Well, I guess I'll end the show. And thank you, everyone, for coming. Once again, if we have to take our country back if we want to keep it. So fight tyranny. Stand up to your tyranny.
And don't beg for something you've already have this whole time.
You have any closing comments or remarks or?
Thanks for having me on. It's always a pleasure to speak with you. And anytime you want to do this, hit me up. If I'm available and in town, I'm down.
Well, thank you, everyone, for coming. And we'll see you next time. Have a good night.
Peace.
Peace.